All right, we're recording.
How many coffees did you have today?
Coffees today? I've had about 3.
Okay, so normal numbers.
Normal numbers today.
Yeah.
No, so the reason why I was asking that, Marty, is because usually I have about 4 to 6 coffees a day.
No way, you're having 4 to 6 coffees?
4 to 6 coffees a day.
Mate, how do you survive? How does...
No, that's just water to me.
Oh.
It gets me through the day.
But like proper coffees or like instantaneous coffees?
Espresso. We have a nice machine in the office.
4 espressos a day. I have more than one and I'm stressing.
Yeah. I've got 2, man, and I'm just like bouncing off the walls.
By 10 o'clock, I'm already on my 3rd one. But you know what? Your body trains to it.
Yeah, so I know they do. I know.
I've always been very natural.
Might not be a good thing, but yeah.
I know.
This is what it takes to run Mantis.
Welcome to Seeking Focus, a podcast that provides photographers and videographers with a place to critically compare technology, share ideas, and enhance their skills.
All right, welcome to episode 44, I think it is. We've got 2 wonderful guests from Sydney today. We've got Adriano from SkyMonkey and MantisFPV, and also we've got Felix from SkyMonkey and MantisFPV. Welcome to the show, guys.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Mate, it's been a long time since we sort of seen. Well, actually, it's the first time we've seen each other face to face, wasn't it?
First time. It's actually really excited to meet you, and it's awesome to be here.
Perfect. And look, today I want to have a chat about what you guys do. I want to know about MantisFPV. I want to know about SkyMonkey. And I want to know what you're actually doing in Melbourne. So, mate, welcome to not so sunny Melbourne.
It was a beautiful day today, actually.
It was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yes, I liked it.
It was nice and hot.
Yeah.
For a bit.
We got in on Tuesday. It was a nice drive in, so we drove down.
Oh, that's right. You drove in.
Yeah.
How long did the drive take from
Honestly,
Sydney?
not too bad. About 9 hours in
9
total.
hours. So you're just cruising.
Yeah, just cruising.
Cruising on 100 k's an hour, and
It went past fast.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Mate, when you're in a Prius going down the highway, it's the best drive.
You gotta stay
brilliant.
concentrated.
Yeah, no. So we had the car filled up with stock. So we're coming down for the Avalon Air Show.
Yeah. Yep.
So spending a good week down here. So Felix and I are hands-on talking about drone racing, STEM, and seeing some really great flying at the air show. So super excited to be here.
That's great. And being at the air show, because air show happens only every 2 years, right?
Yeah. So the Avalon Air Show happens 2 years.
Yeah.
And then it switches to Shell Harbour. So there's one in Sydney as well. And yeah, it's just a bunch of cool planes and people talking about drones and planes and everything. So
yeah.
A lot of good fun.
Cool. So Avalon Airport. So what are you? So you're promoting mainly MantisFPV at that show, yeah? Yeah.
So MantisFPV is our online drone retailer shop. So we provide services and parts on our online store. So we do have a physical shop in Sydney, and we've been around since 2020. So this is our first time actually at Melbourne as MantisFPV.
Beautiful.
But the whole point with the Avalon Air Show is we service the FPV community, and the Army have a drone racing team. And it's all about STEM, drone racing, having fun with kids and education. And part of that is our engagement with the community. So being here, talking to the public and meeting a lot of Melbourne customers. We have a lot of great customers here. It's going to be an awesome time to meet them, and
that's fantastic.
We've got a big weekend ahead of us. So
mate, I think the weekend's going to be huge. I'm going there on Saturday just to catch up with you guys. But you were saying some numbers before, like there was over how many people? Like
what is it?
They're expecting over 100,000 people to walk through the gates over the weekend.
Yeah.
So
both Saturday and Sunday, or just like every day?
Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That might be per day. Actually,
I think they were calling it per day. Per day.
Yeah. That's which huge. Huge.
Yeah.
There's a bit of space there, but we'll see how much.
That's fantastic.
100,000 people.
And you know what? Like that gives you really good exposure as well to both businesses, because I want to know more about that sort of side later. But that exposes, the Mantis, which you mainly sell FPV parts, right? For that.
Yeah.
So droning FPV, so racing. And just
basically
give us more information.
So FPV drones are custom built drones. Think of it as a gaming computer. That's the best way we like to put it.
Yeah, right.
You got your Apple Mac that you can buy from JB Hi-Fi. That's your DJI drones that most people would know about. Where FPV is your custom gaming. So custom parts, and you can get really creative with what you want to build, the style of flying that you want to do. So you got your cinematic, freestyle, and racing. They're the three main categories. And just having fun with technology. And if you're a nerd, you're gonna love FPV.
Oh, it's fantastic,
and that's something we all have in common.
Yeah. Well, look, you know what? Like when I first put my drone together, and that was about 5+ years ago now. Actually, more than that, but I'm not going to get into that. It's almost to a point where you have a sense of achievement. You know what I mean? Where you actually put something together and you're flying it and you're creating some amazing footage out of it. You know what I mean? To a point where you're sticking cameras through little, I don't know, people fly through, I don't know, just small crevices of, you know, and then just the footage that you can actually create out of it's just phenomenal. You know what I mean?
Maybe even jump in for people that might not know what FPV is. I think we should mention how the drone sends a live video feed to goggles. That's the most important thing.
So FPV essentially means first person view, right?
Yeah.
When you're flying a normal DJI drone, you just got a screen on it and you see what the screen is. But with the FPV, you actually have the goggles, so you see what the drone sees.
It's immersive and it takes you into a whole new.
It does, doesn't it? Yeah.
If you've ever watched Star Wars, it's sitting on top of a pod racer.
Yeah.
Isn't that your favorite scene? You said something,
I love it. That's what made me get into FPV.
Totally agree.
Pod racing.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But yeah, that ability to do that, you can get really creative with the types of shots that you want to get. It's becoming very mainstream now, so I'm sure most people have seen it on Instagram without even knowing that it's FPV.
That's right.
And yeah, it's a lot of fun. So heaps of opportunity to do with it.
That's fantastic. Hey, listen, can you guys take me back to the start? That's what I want to know. What made you start an FPV shop, such as niche products and such a niche industry? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, why FPV? You know what I mean?
Well, you gotta ask Adriano that one.
Go on, tell us.
Oh, look, the short version, just to keep it short. So, look, we started back in 2020. This was the time of COVID, a period that we'll remember.
Yeah, that's right.
Look, long story short, we're customers of FPV, and we're doing it for a long time through Sydney.
So you used to fly yourself?
Myself as a hobby.
Yep.
And it still is a hobby, but I'm lucky enough to be able to turn that into work.
Yeah.
And yeah, we saw an opportunity to provide good customer service and experience to people that are new to the hobby. And from that, I think that's where it really all started, that passion for people and providing an FPV.
Yeah. So, I think a lot of businesses start. I mean, I've started my business in a sense from that as well, where I love drones and I love photography and I love video, and now I'm running it full time. You know what I mean? So, another part of the business is SkyMonkey as well.
Yep.
Can you tell us some more about the SkyMonkey? Does SkyMonkey deal with FPV equipment as well, or do they do something totally different?
SkyMonkey is your traditional drone service provider. So we do anything basically that requires services with a drone. We do. That started back in 2016, and it's actually gone from more drones to actually a full ground production. So we do photography, videography. And what we say is we're all photographers and videographers by trade.
Yeah.
The drones are really just a tool. It carries a camera. So composition and taking good photos is the key to being a good drone operator. There's a saying, you may have a license, but you can't drive a car well.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Plenty of drone operators, but composition is most important.
Yeah.
So SkyMonkey is a service provider. So we do stuff from cinematography to surveys, some interesting stuff that Felix dives into more, which is mapping and surveying, and doing that and also the FPV side, so doing cinema filming as well.
So if I'm going to think about it, so the MantisFPV component, which is mantisfpv.com.au, right?
Yep.
It's basically you just deal with parts. Essentially,
that's right.
And then the SkyMonkey, you actually deal with flying, capturing the detail and I guess the information onto the drone, right? So it's almost like you both with drones, but it's totally different.
You know what a bento box is? A Japanese bento box.
No, I don't actually.
So it's a traditional meal where food is split up. You got a bit of rice, you got a bit of meat, you got a bit of vegetables, but it's all split up nicely. the way we look at our businesses is like a bento box. So it's all split up with a particular focus and goal in mind. So
wow, that's a good,
like you said, SkyMonkey is the service provider, where Mantis is a drone retailer, and I guess you can say a support for newcomers to wanting to get into flying drones.
Yeah. Okay, interesting. So, Felix, you mainly deal with a lot more SkyMonkey component in a sense.
Yep.
Tell us, what's your average day in the office?
I don't think we have enough time for that.
Well, if we're going to go back to just last week, I think Wednesday was office day. Just lots of emails, talking to clients about all sorts of different projects going on. Anything from high, what's the word?
Productions, or you?
High accuracy view lines for future view buildings. So, you know, we're living in the high rise age. All these buildings are going up. They're getting taller and taller and taller. And what do people want to know before they buy the land? They want to know what the views are going to look like. So how can we sell this apartment block if we don't know what the views are going to look like? How can we get the pricing right so we know how much our budgets are when we build the building, how much money we've got to work with? Wow. Great thing, drone is a flying camera. You can get that up there and take some pretty good shots. But the trickiest part about that is not the capture itself, but getting ready for it. So that takes a lot of project management, getting exact heights right, because surveyors use particular professional equipment, which is dealing with much higher accuracy levels than what a drone can do. All DJI drones measure in AGL, so we've got to do a lot of conversions to get those levels right and get those shots right, because they're vital.
And for people that know what AGL means,
above ground level.
Above ground level.
Yeah. So that was Wednesday. And then Thursday, I found myself in the middle of New South Wales scanning a solar farm.
That sounds interesting.
Completely different side of the spectrum.
Yeah. And you know what? It's a great thing, because you're not in the office like Adriano is. Basically, you are actually on the field, and you're actually getting your hands dirty in that sense, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I really enjoy doing a lot of kind of hybrid work, moving around. Like, it's great to have a day in the office sometimes. Yeah. After this week, I'll probably look forward to sitting in front of a screen for a day or two just to relax and have some normal hours. But drone work, photography, they're all things that are a really great way to embrace a creative project while also being hands-on, having time to do technical work behind a computer as well. I do a lot of photo editing. I spend about 90% of my life on Lightroom some weeks, which I don't mind, because it's a creative process, and it's something that every time you do it, you create a new method, you learn a new skill. There's a lot of learning.
100%. You know, like I've been doing that for the last, the drone component of the last 5-6 years now at least. Yeah. But photography over 10 years as well. And as you can see on the screen, for instance, there's few shots then from caravans from my last job, and I'm just realizing like there's different tweaks you can do, and there's so much learning to continuously, put on. It's just phenomenal, you know what I mean? So. And
I was saying, jump in there, and then Felix would jump into the shop as well, and then pack orders in between.
That's right.
Because it's all under the same roof. So we about a year and a half ago, we moved into a warehouse style place.
That's right.
And that place is basically the home for Mantis and SkyMonkey. So
whereabouts in Sydney is that?
So we're based in Parramatta. Okay. The exact suburb is Rydalmere.
Oh, okay.
But Parramatta is the city there.
Yep.
And it's really just people walk in, it's a candy shop for drones.
Yeah.
So, you walk in, you see the shop, you see all the bits and bobs, and then at the back is our camera studio. We've got a bunch of particularly Sony cameras, so that's our go-to cameras for SkyMonkey. But then in between that, we got through Mantis, we've got customers walking in, so we drop stuff to serve the customer. Then we've got email inquiries, and admittedly, it can get quite hectic. Yeah. But it's a lot of fun. So,
mate, I'm jealous almost that I'm not in Sydney with you guys. I'm just
come on through. You can
it's I think it's, you know, just to have a team, to work with a team. I think it's fantastic, you know. And you guys obviously, you know, I mean, you threw a fair bit of work my way. So what you were saying before with, you know, getting the details of the view of a certain level, the floor. I did a few jobs in Melbourne for you guys. And you can sort of see that when you're taking a photo of 360 photo of a specific level, you can see the amazing detail of, you know, the skyline of Melbourne or Sydney or whatever else. And all these different work, different jobs come through, and you sort of go, hey, this is awesome, man. Like, why would you want to be in the office all the time? You know what I mean? You want to be out, you know? So,
but see, in adding that too, I take a bit of a different approach if I'm to be devil's advocate.
Yeah.
So, I used to be out a lot as well, but there is a beauty in the office as well, because we often do a lot of creating in there.
Yeah, you're right.
So, my day now has gone, you know, before used to be traditional, you know, go out to do jobs, do a few shoots a day.
Yeah.
To now, honestly, I don't even know what the time is most of the day, because it's so project based. We're working on always new different ideas, different projects, and when you're so caught up in something that you love to do and passionate, I look at the time at 6 o'clock. I need to go home, otherwise I'm going to get in trouble by my partner. So you know,
no, that's exactly right. And you know what? It's your passion as well, because the same thing with me. You know, like, if I'm passionate about something, and like if I'm editing a job, I can be editing a job for 6, 7, 8 hours straight.
Easy.
You know what I mean?
Very easy.
Because you're sort of focused on it, and you're really, really passionate about it, and you kind of go, you know, you don't even look at the time. You
Absolutely
know?
not.
So,
and you know, that's very lucky to be, and very humble to be in that position to be able to do that, because you know, I really wouldn't know what I'd be doing otherwise if it wasn't to do with drones and FPV.
I think drones at the moment. And I don't particularly like that name, drones.
Yeah.
But because it's got a lot of bad stigma about it, in a sense, because, you know, you can buy a drone.
You're spying on me, Marty.
Yeah, that's the thing, you know. Like, you can just buy, anyone can just walk into JB Hi-Fi and just buy themselves a drone, and then, you know, you've got a good looking girl on the other side, and you just want to, you know, send the drone up to have a look at it, and you shouldn't be doing that, because, you know, all of us going through certifications and, you know, and all this learning. But what I'm trying to say is drones are here to stay, and there's going to be a lot more work for drones to be able to, you know, to help with certain different aspects of building. Or, I mean, you probably know better than I would, you know what I mean?
Well, to add on to that, I think I know exactly what you're talking about. And like any industry, there's always a few bad apples that can be done, and unfortunately you can't control that. But I think on the flip side, there's been a lot of innovation, and it's created a lot of opportunities for people, and particularly through, you know, there's a lot of career opportunities, and also hobby and pastime opportunities. So we've spoken to a lot of our customers, and drones are a major part of their lives. You know, a lot of people love football, a lot of people love, you know, going shopping, and a lot of people love flying drones, and it's created a new subculture. And adding to that, what I feel drones or FPV drones are now, it's what skateboarding was in the 1980s or 70s.
Yeah, you're right.
Skateboarding, when people looked at skateboarding, what are these guys skateboarding here? You know, it's annoying. You know, what are these street kids skateboarding?
Yeah.
You look now, 2020, the last Olympics, skateboarding was an Olympic sport.
Yeah.
And it's recognized and it's accepted globally.
So you reckon FPV drone racing will be an Olympic sport one day?
Marking it here now, I do think so. Yeah. Not the next one, but maybe 16 years or so. Yeah,
you know what? And I think I agree there as well, because not having flown one and then having a flown one, I feel like there is a big amount of skill that's actually required for it. I mean,
absolutely.
What you guys do, you do a fair bit of racing as well, both of you, right?
Yeah.
Well, you've tried it more than I have. So like, it's one of those things where, you know, the drone goes from 0 to 100 or 200 k's an hour in, you know, 2 seconds, right? It's
absolutely.
so quick.
Yeah.
Talk to me about all that, because I know you've been involved on Mantis, and then you've got other DSpec, which is part of one of the under your umbrella as well.
Yeah.
Right?
So DSpec is a project that we're working on. It is a separate project to Mantis and SkyMonkey.
Mm-hmm.
DSpec is our education STEM route. But it's also turning drone racing into a spectator sport.
Oh yeah.
So we're working hard to turn drone racing into the DSpec into the NRL of the drone world.
Yeah.
And part of that is the grassroots level. So working with high schools to teach kids how to build drones, and also there's that software engineering side and the mechanical engineering side to that as well. Right. So, like any endeavor, competition is what pushes people. So drone racing is one way to get the kids to get interested in all this. Yeah. But then how do they have fun? What's the continuation of it? Yeah. And let's go race them. And let's go versus other kids and other schools in drone racing.
So for people that don't know what is racing about, like, can you walk me through what you actually do or what actually happens on a race day?
Yeah,
sure. So, well, racing, it kind of like at the current level that racing, especially in Australia, is that people, it's really a social event more than most things. Even the nationals, it's absolutely like strong competition, but it is really, like Adriano mentioned with skateboarding, it's really a community-focused event and social approach. And your standard race day will look like everyone gets together, they set up their quads, and then the format is you do a track walk together. So the track is usually announced on the day, or if it is announced prior.
So what's a track? What do you mean by track?
So FPV racing track is a set of gates, flags, cones even, sorted in a particular format.
Creating an obstacle course.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not flying 20 meters in the air. You're probably 5 meters in the air, a couple meters up.
Yeah.
And you're not flying very far at all. You're usually within less than 100 meters of where you are.
So we're talking about like a football field?
Oh.
Yeah.
Even half of it.
Yeah, half a soccer pitch. Some tracks go really big. When you've got like a multi-day event like the Nationals, the tracks can get pretty extravagant. And
I've never been to one. So
people are using much larger batteries on their drones to get through the tracks because the laps are longer.
Oh,
so
so what are we talking about? What, 6S, 8S?
6S,
4S?
like a 1500. Whereas on a smaller track, you might use a 1000 milliamp hour.
Yeah.
It's a rabbit hole. So battery sizes and everything is it's really personal to the pilot because it's open class.
Yep.
So pilots, can build their own racing drones, and depending on their own skill level, can use less powerful batteries, to their comfort. But like Felix saying, you basically set up an obstacle track. Fastest one to navigate that track will win, like any racing sport.
Okay.
But it is really community focused, and Australia has a fantastic drone racing scene.
Oh yeah.
And it's just one aspect of FPV drones to the others. So you got the freestyle, and then you also got the cinematic. But that's another channel altogether.
No, definitely.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Because I to be honest with you, I've never been to a racing day for drones.
Yeah.
I always fly drones with friends, and we set up flags and whatever else. But we just sort of have a great day, and this sounds like a great day, but also have that extra competition in there as well to be able to push people to above and beyond what they're capable of.
It's incredible how, especially when you're getting started, the real racing is a bit of an addiction. So, I mean, FPV is an addiction in general.
It is.
Once you get that feeling of freedom, you don't want to do anything else. You become infatuated with it. But with racing, the growth in the first kind of, I would say, few events that you go to, if you're racing the same track. I remember when I first started racing, I've been flying FPV since 2017, and I didn't pick up racing until about a year or so ago.
Oh, okay.
And the first time you fly a track, it's like so difficult. You're crashing into gates, you're going into the ground, you have no idea where you're doing, you're not flying the track properly, you're all over the place. But the satisfaction of flying through the finish gate, completing a whole lap the first time, incredible.
Wow.
Yeah, the accomplishment is amazing.
You hit a lot of personal goals in your racing career. So.
And then
the drones that we're flying, obviously, they don't have any sensors. They don't really have anything. So, it's on you exactly to be able to go through those gates and go through those flags. And
absolutely,
yeah. It's a very raw way of flying a drone. It's not like the DJI drones that a lot of people are used to. It's you're controlling very precise amounts of power to the motors.
And to give maybe a clearer comparison to someone that's never heard of the drone, like what drones are, and to make it maybe more relative, is a DJI drone, which is the most common consumer type drone. It's very similar to a Tesla car.
Oh yeah,
very smart. It's a great piece of hardware and software. But it is something that is a consumer, so you can go into JB Hi-Fi, pick it up and learn to fly it relatively really quick. Where an FPV drone is the raw version of that. It's completely
it's like a 1970 Mustang.
Or
even less.
Maybe more like a Lotus. Just absolutely nothing.
FPV drones, it's just stripped back. It's completely manual flying. There's no sensors. The batteries using lithium polymer batteries that looked pretty suspicious if you look at them if you had no idea.
No, that's true.
It's just straight power, and that's that fun side though, because you're not restrained to the limits of what they can do, and a lot of it is open source, and you've got great software developers out there. You've got teams on a software called Betaflight, which is a common FPV program.
A lot of whom are in Australia, by the way, and part of the FPV racing community.
There's a lot of innovation, and the custom side of anything, it pushes innovation, and drone technology has come so far, and it's really awesome to see.
Mate, you know what? Like, just me being like, when I'm tinkering around my drones, you kind of, it's almost like you're in a different planet. You know?
And to link that back to DSpec, because we sort of went off at DSpec is that tinkering and getting high school students to start engaging with drones early. And then hopefully, showing them that drone racing is a competitive and fun sport. But also it can lead to future industry pathways for careers, jobs, and competitive drone racing.
Oh, 100%, and like my daughter is 16 years old and I'm trying to get her into the drones component, and she's loving it. We just bought an old Phantom 1, which is very old at the moment, can I add? And we took it to the park the other day, and I was like shocked how badly it flies. But what, she's still excited, and we're going to take it apart, put it back together, and so hey, if anyone wants to start get into sort of FPV or whatever else, like, how do they get into this sort of stuff? How do they contact you?
Look, where you can find us on all social media, Instagram under MantisFPV AU. But the best way for anyone listening to get into FPV is to buy a controller and just jump on a computer simulator. It's the most cost-effective way, simple way, because if you crash, and you can just restart the simulator and try again.
So true.
And it really, that point determines whether or not it's really right for you. So if you're loving the simulator, you're going to love real life. There's no doubt about it. As opposed to if you're really not enjoying the simulator, look, it's unfortunate, but there's not too many people that has given that feedback. If you try it, you're gonna love it, and you're gonna have a lot of fun.
I think I started off with a simulator as well, and I spent probably about good 30-40 hours on the sim first before I actually took the drone up. And look, at the end of the day, they can be dangerous because there's no sensors, so you can fly into something. I mean, there's plenty of times where I crashed on top of a tree and I needed a ladder to get it down, and there's few people online as well where it's you can see blood drawn from fingers because they touched the propellers when they were spinning. You know what I mean? So
absolutely.
It's a tricky one, unfortunately. But
it's no race, and I know we're just talking about racing, but anyone's personal drone endeavor, it's all personal. So take it at your own time, have fun, learn, and work within your own confidence. So if you're not confident, that's okay.
Well, you can get in touch, and I mean, look, the community, like you mentioned, it's quite big in Melbourne and Sydney, and all around Australia, and we always sort of we catch up. I mean, you guys do a get-togethers, right? From every month, 2 months, or
about 3 times a year now we're doing it. So that's what, about 4 months, every 4 months or so, every quarter. And yeah, it's just an opportunity for customers to all come and shop, particularly in Sydney, where Parramatta is in the heart of Sydney. And we get about 50 to 60 customers that come in. We have a bit of a barbecue. We have some drinks. We have a great opportunity to network. And the thing with FPV is why it's a niche. There's a lot of people doing it, but the people within sometimes within the community don't realize how many people are actually doing it. So the reason for the social send, the MantisFPV social send, is to network with other pilots. And we actually get messages sometimes. People are quite nervous to come. They're like, "What do we talk about?" Talk about FPV drones. That's that's the common goal that everyone is here for.
And
so
that's exactly right.
And then you got it's unbelievable. You got a wide range of people with different backgrounds. You got uni kids that come. You got high school kids. Then you got industry professionals. You got trades. You got people that are dentists and lawyers, and it's really fascinating because we all come
all different types of stuff.
All types of different pathways, but then we all come together to talk about these drones, which some people may look at toys, but they're not toys, but it's technology.
You know what though? Like some people do look at that stuff as toys, but I can tell you it's pretty far from a toy.
They're not toys. They're a lot of fun, and they're flying machines.
Yeah, that's right. And you know what though? Like the off spin off that as well, like it's 3D printing. You guys do a fair bit of 3D printing, I'm guessing, as well, right?
Yeah, we do a little bit.
Yeah, so like there's totally different world out there for 3D printing, and
3D printing is another podcast. So we dabble in 3D printing. It's not the core focus, but we do have some on site for quick prints and emergency situations when people need some.
Prototyping, but
3D printing itself
it's a big thing, isn't it?
It's a massive thing and huge industry. It has some common, it's aligned with FPV drones with the accessories and what prototyping, etc. But it's its own unique industry, which is unbelievable.
Wow. Mate, I think the whole thing is just it's a huge bucket of just things that you can just do with it, from flying, from 3D printing to specific photos and mapping, and
we didn't even talk about freestyle. We didn't even talk about the custom projects. So people are getting creative with delivery drones, and it's actually pushing entrepreneurship, because you're getting a lot of people out there that are curious to see how far can we push these drones and what problems can we solve with them. So it's pushing a whole new industry.
And the thing is as well, like the drones are replacing actual helicopters, right? So to run a helicopter, it's thousands and thousands of dollars per day. Where with the drone,
Absolutely. And let's not even talk about the AI component coming, getting really popular as well. So it's an emerging industry. It's been around. It feels like it's been around for a while, but it hasn't. It's just the start of the the growth. And look, Felix and I feel really proud to be part of it, and
I think it's great.
And
me too.
Just starting out, let's keep growing it and getting more people flying. It's a lot of fun.
What's your favorite quad?
Oh, okay.
So, what would you recommend?
No one's ever asked me that question.
Oh, okay.
That's a great question.
Oh, okay.
I see a lot of drones.
Yeah, you do. That's the thing, like you see different motors. You do because everything is, like you mentioned, custom made.
Yeah.
So, would a 5-inch be the way to go, or do you think, going 6 or 7 inch?
No, you know what? This guy likes his Mavic 2.
No. It's a good machine, but no. That's a great question, Marty. Look, I think the 5-inch drone is a standard platform. It's fantastic, and but I am starting to get interested in the 7-inch drones and the 7 and 8 inch drones, basically.
Yeah, right.
It's just awesome, the sizes of them and how I guess how fast they can be. So that's sort of what I'm leaning towards now. But honestly, they're all awesome, because then you get even the micro drones that come in, which weigh less than 100 grams, even less, 50 grams.
That's right.
I think some even are 16 grams.
Yeah, with the new 04A unit, right? You can just get a naked one, or whatever it's called.
That's right. So there's heaps of drones out there. I think, all of them have their own unique, but honestly, that's a tough question.
It is. You know what? Just behind you there. So I've got, I've got 2 5-inches, 5-inch drones. I've got 2 senior whoops with propeller guards.
Yeah.
And I've got 6-inch and a 7-inch. And every job is for a different job.
It's using the right tool for the right job.
That's exactly right.
So even linking it back to you've got freestyle frames. you got racing frames, and you got cinematic frames. So I think for my personal FPV journey, I started off with freestyle. That's how I started the hobby, and that's how I fell in love with it. And then I moved into cinematic, and cinematic is during the SkyMonkey days that's how we really started getting, merging commercial work with FPV.
Yeah.
And then my love fell into racing, and I guess that love came from the community and the STEM education and the training. So yeah, I've been through all the phases, and they all have different unique platforms.
Yeah, it's so true. Felix, what's your favorite quad?
That's a tough question.
No one's
ever asked me that.
Yeah, there you go.
I think though, the quad that brings me the most joy is my probably my Mobula 6 Tiny Whip, which I've customized it's been through a few different iterations, but the motors and the board have always stayed.
Yep.
That thing is so fun to fly. I love tiny whips.
That's fantastic.
You can fly them indoors.
And
they pose very little danger to anyone, and my cat loves to chase it.
Oh, okay.
So
and tiny whoops are just something different as well, isn't it? Like it's mainly made for indoors as such. But you can do so much with them. Like you can do flips, you can do power loops with them, you can do so many different things.
And you can take them outdoors. So if I have a weekend where it's a lovely sunny day, I open up all the windows in my house, and I will make a track out of the entire house with the tiny whip and fly around everything.
Mate, I want to be there.
Oh, honestly, if you don't have one, you've got to get one.
Yeah, I did actually have one a while back, but I didn't really use it for work much, so that's why I sort of got rid of it. But yeah, cool. Yeah, guys, I know we're pressed on time, and I know you got a busy day ahead tomorrow. Like, what time is starting tomorrow? Like 6 a.m.
Yeah, we're gonna start the day at 6 and really kick off tomorrow. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday is gonna be a big one.
Yeah.
And the goal is just to talk to as many people as we can about FPV and how to get into it, and be the go-to destination for to help people out.
So MantisFPV, if anyone searches MantisFPV, give us your social media platforms as well. So
for Mantis, so Instagram, MantisFPV AU.
Yep.
That's the same for Facebook, and then TikTok. We're also on TikTok, which is MantisFPV AU. I think it's all AU.
I'll pop that on the notes anyway, so I'll get all that information from you anyway. But I think it's a great thing what you guys are doing.
Thank
you. I know it's a lot of work and a lot of brain power that goes through, from mapping, like you were saying, Felix, and then to FPV learning and sort of teaching and 10 other things. And I think if anyone wants to get into it, by all means, contact Adriano, Felix, or myself. I've got huge Melbourne community, for FPV, and we've got obviously huge community in Sydney as well. So
and no question is silly. So I think a lot of people get nervous, like this is gonna be silly. No, it's the FPV community is fantastic, and everyone is truly there to help. Get you, help you out. So any questions, send them our way. Send them
by all means.
Chat to us, and more than happy to help.
Yeah, give us a call. I forgot to mention one of my one of my favorite parts of the day is we get a lot of calls.
Okay.
A lot of calls every day. There's never a moment where I don't enjoy picking up the phone because I never know what's on the other side, and people ask all sorts of questions, and it's a lot of fun. It's great to sometimes they ask questions that I don't know the answer to, and gets me really excited to work it out.
And you know what? Like even my mum said, if you ask, you will never get lost.
That's right.
You know what I mean? So
I like that. That's a good one.
That's a good one. All right. Thanks, guys, for coming out to Melbourne.
Thanks for having us.
And see you on Saturday. Definitely looking forward to obviously chatting more with you guys and working more together.
Awesome. Thank you for having us. It was fun to be here.
Ciao.